So, in this video, I am going to talk about how you can start creating your own rules to turn life into the game that you want to play instead of the game that others will force upon you. Now, what do I mean by this? What do I mean that life is a game? If you look at it simply, every single person starts off with like a base skill set. Right? I call this like XP. I actually got it from a friend of mine who bought it once, and I kind of ran with it. I kind of stole it since, right? So yeah, what is XP? XP means that it's like experience in a certain area of life, right? Some people will spawn in generally and have XP in some stats higher than others, right? Some people will come on in and have XP in like height. They may be like 6 or 5, but guess what? They may also be dumb as shit and very, very unintelligent, right? So their XP in intelligence is very, very low, but XP in height is very high. Other people may have, terrible XP in intelligence, but really, really high XP in social skills and building relationships, right? So we all start off with our own base skill sets, our own base levels. And it actually took me some time to understand what my base level was, because I was never the perfect athlete. I was never the perfect student. I was never the guy with like a niche interest like music or art or chess or any of that shit, right? I was just a guy, a normal kid, for the majority of my early life, right? I liked a few things and I had passions, sure, like any kid, but I didn't have that one thing that really stood with me that I was better at everyone else at. So my XP stats were pretty balanced, right? I had XP pretty decent. I wouldn't say high, I'd say decent in like social skills. I would say in sense of humor. I would say in like emotional intelligence, in gaming especially, because I used to play a lot of games, and in certain sports as well, right? So football was okay. It wasn't like super high, and then there was some stats where I was just shocking, right? Looks, XP was like bottom of the barrel, right? I was really scraping by there in my early years growing up. Let me tell you, I was, yeah, it was not a pretty sight. It literally wasn't a pretty sight to look at me growing up when I was in my early teens. That changed, thankfully, over time, and my XP in looks grew, my XP in social skills grew, my XP in height grew, which all contributed to me becoming an overall better character, if that's what you want to call it. Now, what do most people tell you to do that you should absolutely ignore? Most people tell you to do the same thing everyone else does. Now, why is that absolutely bullshit? Is because you have different XP to someone else. So why are you doing what they're doing? Okay? Why are you going to study fucking psychology if the person that who's also studying psychology is completely different from you and wants completely different things? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And you can apply this in many, many different things, right? Like business, like sports, dating, whatever you want to pick, right? Everyone has their own skills. Everyone has their own base character. So don't listen to what everyone else tells you to. Don't follow the masses. Start doing your own shit. And what I mean by doing your own shit is start just flipping the script. Start looking at, okay, what are the XP points that I have? What's maybe high? What's maybe not? What can I improve? How can I turn my highs into even, higher highs? How can I turn my weaknesses into strengths and get at least to a mid level and go from there? That's exactly what I did, right? I flipped the script. I was like, okay, cool, my looks are low. What can I do to get my looks XP up? Well, I can start going to the gym. For one, that should help. I can start growing up my hair, right? Grow the curls, that should help. I can start maybe taking more time to research my style and start dressing better, which helped a lot as well. I can also start working on my health and my diet, clearing up my skin so I don't have any acne. So you can see how immediately I turned something that was a very big weakness into now, that's not so much of a weakness. Same thing I did with sales, right? So I work in high ticket sales. I am able to make money from anywhere in the world with just an internet connection. But when I first got into sales, I was terrible. My sales XP was like very, very low. I didn't understand sales psychology. I didn't understand how to help someone make a buying decision, what any of this was, like objection handling, doing discoveries, doing a pitch, right? Didn't understand any of it. Drilled very, 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 very hard. This was last year now, for a period of like 6-7 months, invested in multiple different programs and just hours a day, just really putting time and work into the skill. And guess what? My sales XP flew up. I got much better, and now I'm able to close 12k deals. Last year I closed well over $500,000 in sales for companies that I was working with, right? Pretty cool shit. So what do I want you to do? What can you start doing to build your own rules is start, again, think of what you want to improve. How can you turn your weaknesses into strength? And don't listen to anyone else as well, by the way, because no one truly knows you better than you. No one knows your XP better than you know your own XP. Sure, they can give you good insight if they genuinely care for you, but ultimately it's still got to come from you. It's got to come from in here, doing the internal work. And that's another XP trait I'm building right now: spirituality, right? Emotional intelligence, being present, being in the moment. That's something that I struggled with not too long ago, even now, right? Doom scrolling on social media apps, listening to a lot of music, having my mind constantly stimulated. Even whilst working, I'd be listening to music. And so it's very, very difficult for me to stay present in conversations and present moment and realize that all we have is the present, the past, the future. There all concepts of my own ego that don't really matter. Now, you can put this stuff like on a spreadsheet and take it really seriously if you want to. I personally think that's just gay. Right, I'll say it. I didn't do any of that shit. I know people who have. Again, I think it's gay. But yeah, do you. Take a look at yourself in the mirror. Take a look at what you want to change, and lo and behold, it will change. And it's crazy how it all works as well. Like once you put that thought into your mind, it's like one thought is like one physical thing. It will become, something that you'll think about the next day and the next day and the next day, and then you'll start believing it. You'll start believing you already have it, and then it'll just appear. It'll just appear in your life. I don't know what's happened with me. It's happened with many other people that I speak to on a day-to-day basis, and it is truly unbelievable, right? Now, why is it that people want to hide this from you? It's because no one really wants you to be the best version of you. In school, especially growing up here in the UK, everything is so general. Like, it's crazy how in biology you don't even learn anything about like the human brain or mind or how to best utilize it. You just learn like the parts of it and the functions, but not really how to use it properly. In business studies, you don't learn how to fucking grow a business. The teachers themselves don't even have a business who teach business in the UK. You learn shit like different models that no business has actually used, right? I've worked with many 7-figure businesses, and never have I ever heard a business use something like Ansoff's Matrix or Porter's 5 generic strategies. If you did GCSE or A-level business in the UK, you know exactly what I'm talking about there, right? So, yeah, school and education and society in general, they don't want this. They don't want you to play by your own rules. They would very much rather control you and make you part of the masses who are living a very mediocre life. And if you're watching this video, the likelihood is that you probably don't want to live a very mediocre life. You probably want to start improving yourself. You want to become a better version of you. So I encourage you to take a look at yourself. What do you want to change? What do you want to improve? Start thinking you already have that change, and lo and behold, it will appear, as I mentioned before. So that's the game I play. What XP points am I working on right now? I'm working on my XP of talking to the camera and making content, right? I want to become the best in the world at making piece-to-camera content like this, where I'm just talking to the camera in one frame. It's going to take some time because I've never been the type of person who's been confident in front of a camera before. But I'm working on it, right? So that's an XP that's very low that I'm hoping to improve. I'm also working on my XP in the gym, right? Putting on that muscle, putting on some size, right? Improving my physique there. That's another XP point. I'm working on sales. I'm still working on that, right? It's high, but I want to get it even higher. And yeah, I think I'm also working on still the present, still the consuming like knowledge and growing and gaining in wisdom, becoming more mature. My XP in faith as well, my relationship with God, I'm still very much working on. Last year wasn't so great, but I'm working on it. I have the intention to be better, and I hope that it will be better. If this video has been useful to watch though, then appreciate you. Hit me on IG, drop me a message to let me know what you thought. Show some love, and I'll show you some back. Pause. And yeah, let's make this a fucking good year, right?